A question came up, is vehicle teleportation possible in Unreal Editor for Fortnite? And as far as I can tell, I don't believe it is. But as I thought about it, I realized while it's not really possible, you could create the illusion of teleportation. And I think one of the complications with it is to teleport, you'd need a character inside of a vehicle. And I'm not sure what kind of programming would have to occur to make both the vehicle and the character teleport at the same time. So I'm sure it's probably programmatically possible, but until it is, I realize there's a way you can kind of create the illusion of teleporting a vehicle. So I'll show you what this looks like. So we'll go into Fortnite and I'll hit start game. And this is really all based on the Signal remote, and I just did a tutorial about that. So I'll put a link to it in the description in that. So I have two vehicle spawners in the game. So this is one vehicle spawner, the original one, and this is a second one. Obviously this one is set to disable, and this one over here is set to not respawn. So this is just going to spawn a car one time, and so initially when the game starts, the car spawns in. On the vehicle spawner, you can set it so that it's the same type of car. So I have it set, this one set to blue sports car, candy blue I think that is, and this one is set to candy blue too. So they're both set to a candy blue car. So that will add to the illusion of the teleportation. This spawner, when the button is pressed, there's going to be a button pressed. It's going to destroy that car and spawn in a new car that looks just like it. So it's going to look like it's been teleported. The only issue is there's a time delay, and that this car spawns in first, and then this car disappears. So it doesn't, the effect doesn't look right. So what I realized is you can mask it with a special effect. Because this car sticks around in the scene, we need to hide it. So one way to hide it is with a visual effect, so I'm going to make it foggy. So what I have over here is a trigger device in the scene, and it has a 5-second delay on it. What's going to happen is when I press the remote, the fog will start right away, and then I'm also going to trigger this device is on a 5-second delay. So once enough fog is in there and we can't see that car anymore, it will be destroyed and our new car will spawn in. So it should create the effect of teleportation. So there's a million ways you could slice and dice this, but this is just one way. So I'm going to go ahead. I just wanted to walk you through the setup. So let me, and then after this, I'll go into Unreal Editor and show you the settings. It shouldn't take very long. So let me hit the remote and watch what happens. I just hit it. See the fog come in? Well, I was looking over here, but I'm sure that car popped in. Just walk you through the settings real fast. So, okay, so we have this one car spawner. Gosh, it gets foggy in here. See the amount of fog? So we've got two spawners. Okay, so here's the one spawner here. It's set to candy blue. It is set, pretty much it. It's just set to destroy the vehicle when the trigger is triggered. And I think there's a setting on here about not respawning. Oh, right here. So you want to make sure enable respawn is off. So we just want this car to come in one time and not respawn. And then we're going to set it to candy blue. We're going to set it to be destroyed from our trigger device. So that's all the settings for that one. Then we come over to this other spawner here. And its settings are, we're going to disable it on begin play from our player spawner. Then we're going to enable it on the trigger. And there's a setting on here that you have to check. And it's called, oh, just enable respawn. And then we set it to candy blue too, right? And then for our, then we just put in a VFX effect here, VFX right here. And I set it to fog, but I have the spawn rate too low. So I'm going to make it a 2. And so this is triggered immediately by when I press the remote button. I want it disabled on begin play by the player spawners. This is the VFX spawner. And then when I hit enable on the signal remote, it starts the fog. And then this trigger device, where is my trigger device? I'll just search for it up here. This trigger device is set on a 5-second delay. And we don't want any of this. We don't want to see it in the scene. And we don't want it visible in the game. So it's basically just creating a 5-second delay. It is triggered on the signal remote. So when I hit the remote, it triggers a 5-second delay. And this trigger is what is sending the signals to both of the car spawners. One to destroy and the other to enable. So I hope that's all clear. I'm going to just push these changes. And we'll come back in and take a second look at how this looks. Okay, so we're ready to test this. And I just realized that you don't even need to do the visual effect if the player won't be seeing the 2 spawn locations at the same time. Because then you won't notice the delay. And then I press this remote to start. It should start the fog. And then 5 seconds later, the car should be destroyed and reappear over here on the right. So let's see what it looks like. There, the fog starts. There, you see that? How it created the illusion of something just happened? And now I'm over here.